everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as He Sweet. I'm from ReverseThieves.com as well as the Speakeasy Podcast. And this time, I'm talking about, well, let me settle on a title. I'm going to be calling these chapters Fate Extra CCC Foxtail because that's how it's listed in the Type Moon Wiki, or at least the English one. And it just rolls off the tongue. So, until there's some official title, if it ever gets licensed, the Japanese title is way too long for me. And if anybody's been watching this video, my pronunciation is not the greatest of even English words. So, Japanese words, yeah. So, Fate Extra CCC Foxtail Chapter 2. And I've done a little more research on this series since I started reading it, and plus it doesn't come out that quickly scanlated, so no rush. And it's really interesting. The last time I was like, I'm really confused. I mean, I haven't played Fate CCC, so I was like, I didn't realize like half these characters were in that. Huh. Well, whatever. And then I found out that Foxtail is not based on the CCC that you can play for the Vita, like the Fate Extra manga with Saber is. This is a lot of cut things and kind of rejected plot threads that were in the original planning stages of Fate Extra CCC, kind of given a new light. And so it does add a kind of interesting dimension. Because I was like, man, King Protea and Violet, I'm really surprised I never saw these two before. I mean, you see a lot of Passion Lip and Metalith, but you think these two girls off BB would be around more in pictures and stuff. Or, I guess they were just holding them back in the promo videos, which, makes sense. But I thought I'd see them other places. And I'm like, oh. Because I had seen pictures of them a little bit. So I just guessed, I just always figured they were just characters that didn't get talked about a lot in the fandom. But I did not realize that they were just in the extra materials book. And they're actually kind of rejected characters being given new life. In fact, a bunch of these characters are rejected characters, or basically cut for time, because CCC was running over. I mean, that was delayed 3 or 4 times. So these weren't necessarily characters that were cut for not being good, but just for like, all right, we just have to ship out this game. We can't have Nasu, doing his normal, delay things for 3 years. This is a game from another company, not just, Type Moon. So we're going to have to, just learn, maybe King Protea can be left on the cutting room floor. She might be a cool character, but maybe. And so, but just not, basically the Sakura clones or the fragmented Sakura personalities aren't the only people who got caught, but we see, a whole bunch of different servants and different masters now being thrown in. And apparently a bunch of characters who were really important in CCC die. And I thought it was like a fake out. Like, oh, you think these characters are dead. And then at the end, they're like, surprise! We weren't dead. We were masterminding everything. Which is generally what I thought reading the second chapter the first time. But I guess, yeah. Kiara Session and her caster, are the big bad guys, spoilers, of Fate CCC. So when I saw them dead at the end of chapter 2, I was like, what? Huh. Interesting. The fake outs are pretty good in this one. And I'm like, oh no, they're really dead. This is an entirely new story. So, interesting stuff. So I'm definitely interested to see kind of who were these characters that didn't make it into Fate CC? What were these plots that had to get dropped? It's all fascinating new territory. Definitely, you know, something different. Definitely not just, basically like the Fate Extra manga does expand on a few things and let you see things from a slightly different perspective. But it's pretty much the story you know. But this is Wild New Places. So, we start with, you know, attack on CCC with Giant King Protea trying to Hulk smash the main character, and we see Shinji getting eaten by a Titan, which I think is pretty much what many a person who has read any kind of Fate material had been like, yes, finally, Shinji dying early and the way we wanted him to die, as opposed to like, man, we had to put up with him for a while. Not that he actually in Fate actually dies. He is the first master you take out, so I guess the Fate Extra series realizes you just gotta kill Shinji quick. I mean, Fate Stay Nice taught us one thing: don't have Shinji stick around more than he needs to be. And so, Fate Foxtail, Fate Extra CCC Foxtail is like, let's just do that bitch right first chapter. Getting eaten by Titan King Protea. And done. So, he runs around a little more. Basically, this voice is trying to get him to commit suicide or just give in to being killed by Violet, who is, the fake, Taiga. And does that mean real Taiga has been killed? No! Oh no, I just realized that. Taiga was probably killed so Violet could take her place. I know you're only an AI of a Taiga long ago, but still, a little bit boo-hoo-hoo. You'll be missed, Fujimori-sensei. You'll be missed. I'm like the only person who actually likes Taiga. Everybody else is like, yes! We got Saku Rider, who's got like a hand that turns into a drill, evil Gurren Lagann style. Good riddance to bad rubbish. Give us more. Oh, well, then again, Ryder is kind of on the, unpopular list ever since that weird faction of people who really like Fate Zero Ryder have decided that, like, there can only be one Ryder and now we must hate Fate Stay Night Rider. So maybe Saku Rider here with the drill hand gets, Violet gets the, kind of transferred hate. She gets grandfathered hate. I'm not sure. But so they're both trying to take him out. And he's like, nah, I'm going to live, man. And so Castor's like, yeah, that's super sexy. Just call for me, and I'll be there to save you. He's like, I'm remembering my servant Castor. I summon you. And she comes in schoolgirl outfit, and she's like, yeah, some fan service for, basically the audience and my master. Remember it. Anyway, I can fight two servants at once. I mean, that thing's huge, and she's crazy. I could fight like one of them, but all right, let's run. Actually, you're in a dream. And there's really only one way to wake you up. And so she's like, the classic, are you an S or an M? Well, it doesn't matter. Wham! And so, he wakes up and he's all a little confused. And you get a little comedic scene. And then we see some kind of BBS girl, but a little less like Little Witch schoolgirl and a little more like classic schoolgirl with a sword, and she takes out basically a whole bunch of people, including Kirei, the crazy monk guy, Manji. Like I said, the main villains of Fate CCC, And she's like, this is all for my boyfriend. And so she seems a little bit yandere. So, and that guy and her servant definitely looks familiar. Like, that outfit, I think, is supposed to be a big giveaway of who he is. If anybody listens to these things, like, I know I've seen that outfit on characters before. And so, you know, anything that we knew about Fate Extra CCC out the window. Maybe some people who read the Fate Extra Materials book might have some clue of what's going to happen next, but this is a whole new story. So, interesting. Definitely got me a little more interested in the whole Foxtail series now that I know what's going on. For everybody who didn't know, um, and you're interested in like these new characters, a bunch of them are just like everybody's like, I don't know. All we have is character sketches from the book, so your guess is good as mine of what they're gonna be doing. But the new characters are the alter egos. If you wanted to see the other, basically Sakura clones, if you just look them up, they're kind of hard to find regularly. But if you look up alter egos, you'll find them pretty easy, especially on the Type Moon Wiki. But whole new world. I guess I'll see you there next week, or actually in a few seconds.